First off, this is evil. Okay, slaves built this country? What? 40 acres in a what? I'm outraged. I am outraged because it takes a cartoon to push out what people are afraid to say. I said it. Ain't nothing about what they said is false. Ain't nothing about what they said is false, Ben. Hey, thank you for watching Power to the Pod, where we're committed to an intellectual integrity and a moral honesty. I'm your host, Superior, and once again, thank you for watching. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Mr. Ben Shapiro being upset, like being at a level 10 Super Saiyan upset, okay? Like, he has an issue with cartoons, okay? Now, being someone who's listened to Ben Shapiro for probably going on 6 years now, okay, 6-7 years. I never really subscribed to his channel-ish until now, but I've heard content from him, more than 30-second clips, obviously, different types of forums and debates and conversations. So I've seen a lot of sides of Mr. Ben Shapiro. But one thing I don't understand is, number one, it is okay to have an agenda. I've seen so many comments in my comment section saying, hey, Mr. Superior, you have an agenda. You have an agenda and you're trying to push it on other people. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you upset? You're mad at me because I have a plan. I have a foundation. I have something that I believe in, and I'm putting my time, blood, sweat, and energy into pushing what I believe wholeheartedly, coming from a place of love and understanding. I'm trying to pursue change. That's not bad. And even with someone that I don't agree with on a whole multitude of issues and cultural problems and topics, I may disagree with you, but you can still always tell if that person is coming from a genuine position on trying to help people, and maybe they just have a different point of view or perspective of it. I understand that. But for some reason, Ben Shapiro is obviously an opportunist who doesn't know when to stop opportuning, if that makes sense. He's mad at another Disney cartoon, The Proud Family, and the way he starts off this video is like, let's go ahead and watch it and let's have that conversation.
There's a clip that was going around over the weekend that was shocking to those who have never really watched Disney Plus or looked at much of the content that is being promoted on Disney Plus. And there's a reason that we here at Daily Wire are dedicating $100 million over the next couple of years to produce children's content. It's coming out in very short order, apparently not fast enough.
Okay. Just right there. He's not even 20 seconds in the video, and I apologize for cutting in, but I have to jump in and just point out the hypocrisy. Just be honest. He is talking about Disney Plus pursuing and pushing an agenda, okay, to their cartoon section on Disney Plus. It's a whole different conversation if you think that's immoral or disgusting or shouldn't be done. That's a whole different conversation. But Ben, literally in just one breath, he said, Disney Plus is pushing an agenda on their Disney Plus cartoons. But here at the Daily Wire, we are committed to putting $100 million into our own cartoons. It's like, Ben, Daily Wire has their own agenda. And now you're going to create cartoons to, in your opinion, to be an opposing defensive cartoon alternative for kids. You're doing the same thing. Ben, just be honest. Just because they're doing something that you think is wrong, and then you going on the other side and doing the same thing, I can say the same thing about you. So come on, stop the whole like, we're trying to fight the evils. Bro, I can say that you're evil too. So it's like, okay, like, come on, Ben, just be honest, be fair, and just say you want to start a cartoon reflecting the beliefs and the foundations of whatever you believe in into your own cartoons, which they already have thousands of. Ben is not doing something like historically new. Like, it's millions of these kind of cartoon contents. But I digress. Let's get into what's crawled under his skin today. And I'm assuming it has to be something crazy and like mind-blowing, and will have every person watching just balding their fists and ready to fight Disney Plus and the evil agenda that they're pushing. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
W Kids is going to be a thing, specifically because we wish to provide your kids a space where they can believe in traditional values and just learn about the world.
Okay.
But what the left wants to do is prey on your kids and shove into their brains terrible ideas about the country, about morality, about religion, about all the institutions, the intermediate institutions that make life both secure and worth living. And so one of the shows that was doing this on Disney Plus is, of course, The Proud Family. Here is a clip from The Proud Family that was making the rounds over the weekend. It is just false history and nonsense, rage against America being taught to your small kids.
This country was built on slavery, which means slaves built this country.
Tilled this land from sea to sea to sea. First it was rice, tobacco, sugar cane. Then Whitney did his thing and cotton became king.
And we were its soldiers, 4 million strong, fighting for America's freedoms, even though we remained America's slaves.
Built this country. The descendants of slaves continue to build it.
Slaves built this country. And we, the descendants of slaves in America, have earned reparations for their suffering.
And continue to earn reparations every moment we spend submerged in the systemic prejudice, racism, and
white supremacy
that America was founded with and still has not atoned for.
Slaves built this country. Not only field hands, but carpenters, masons,
blacksmiths, musicians, inventors built cities from Jamestown to New Orleans to Banneker,
Washington. 40 acres and a mule.
We'll take the 40 acres, keep the mule.
We made your families rich.
From the southern plantation heirs
to the northern bankers to the New England ship owners,
the founding fathers,
former presidents, current senators,
the Illuminati, the New World Order.
Slaves built this country.
We had Tubman,
Turner,
Frederick D.
Didn't they say Lincoln freed the slaves?
But slaves were men.
And women.
And only we can free ourselves.
Emancipation is not freedom. Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, public schools feeding private prisons, where we become slaves again.
As we celebrate Juneteenth
for the umpteenth time,
our account is still outstanding. Cause this country was built on slavery, which means
slaves built this country.
And we demand our 40 acres and a mule.
Bump that! You can keep the mule.
Keep the 40.
We're taking our freedom.
Whoa. First off. Okay. First off, this is evil. Okay. Slaves built this country? What? 40 acres and a what? I'm outraged. I am outraged because it takes a cartoon to push out what people are afraid to say. I said it. Ain't nothing about what they said is false. Ain't nothing about what they said is false, Ben. No, you're just upset because it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you nervous. It makes you like afraid that if more people understand the information and the knowledge and understand who built this country, what it took to build it, and the actual people who actually put forth of upholding what it means to be an American. You want to talk about the cost? What? who was a better demonstration of that? I'm just saying. But let's hold on. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe he didn't like the animation. Maybe he didn't like the presentation of what maybe it's something that I missed. But let's listen to Ben. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun. I'm not letting him speak right now. Let's listen to what he didn't like about this.
Okay, so that's what they're promoting on Disney Plus. That's what they're promoting. That is a false history of the United States. This is basically just 1619 Project garbage. It is bled down. This is always how it works, is that all this garbage starts at the highest level of critical race theory in our universities, then it bleeds down to the people who write your shows, and then it's your kids who are now learning this in their schools in a dumbed down version of the 1619 Project or on The Proud Family on Disney Channel. First of all, the belief system that America was built on the back of slavery as opposed to all other cultures ever, that every institution of the United States is infused with slavery. It's a lie.
Okay, first off, nobody said every institution. When you say the word, now one thing you're going to get about me, when you say every, you mean every, like to the literal sense of what every means. Every institution. I've read a lot of books from a lot of these people, Cornel West, Michael Edgar Dyson, James Baldwin. No one has, at least to my knowledge, has said every institution in America is rooted in just still today racist. Dairy Queen. Like, you know, just something like, I don't think, I mean, the ice cream is good, but like, I'm not thinking that's, so when you say every institution, the major ones, that's a different discussion. That's a different conversation. But when, come on. You're doing a little too much here. So let's go ahead and let him. The
belief that it's Southern wealth that generated American prosperity is also a lie. The South was an economic backwater compared to the North. Slavery.
Really? So what was the number one exporter in America during that time? And I mean, I'm. It's been a while. It's been like a couple weeks since I read this book. But what's the word? What was the major? It rhymes with cotton. Ding. Once I figure that out, I know it rhymes with cotton. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. But Ben, what are you talking about? And then he's saying, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get to the point where, you know, there was a few slaveholders back in the day, and just like Candace Owens said, you know, they raised a couple of, you know, dollars here and there. It wasn't a big deal. 4 million plus slaves? You think 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 plantation owners owned over 4 million slaves during 200 something years? Really? That doesn't even make sense. Make that make sense. That's actual factual history. But no, over 4 million free labor over 200 plus years. That you're not, they didn't get that much, right? Like, they were damn near poor at that point. The slaves and the slave owners were just poor. Like, it's a big deal. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Come on, Ben.
Is actually very bad for the economy, as it turns out, which is what the South found out during the Civil War when the North kicked the hell out of them. The belief system that people today are owed reparations for sins committed against their great grandparents.
Yeah, great. Yeah, hey, you can roll your eyes all that you want, sir. But one thing you got to understand is, if this situation, this atrocity, it wasn't even a situation, okay? If this was dealt with after the emancipation, 40 acres and a mule, you know what is it? We probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. But you know what? Irresponsible people, this is one thing is consistent throughout history with our government. They love to kick the can down the road. They love to put the responsibility on the next generation, the next government cycle. They love to keep continuing putting this can down the road. And now here we are in 2023, if you're watching this in the future, 2024, we are still going to continue having this conversation. And Ben, I'm sorry, but we just can't let it go. No. For 200 something years, and then even after that was a headache. It wasn't like just slavery done and now we're all living in harmony and we're all just holding hands and hopping down. Like, no, Ben, no. You can't just turn a blind eye to something like this. We can't do that with the Holocaust, right? Hey, that's a whole different conversation. But Ben, you have to understand this. This has to be dealt with. You cannot, no matter how much money you throw at it, you're not going to erase history. No matter how much you try to rewrite it, redo it, redraw it, whitewash it, whatever you want to call it, we are not going to forget. Come on.
And that every ill in American society today is attributable to slavery
Not every
is an
ill.
absurdity.
Not every
And yet
ill.
this is the
Come on
crap
now.
that they are now mainlining into your kids' heads through TV, and making your kids hate the country. I mean, I don't know how you emerge from that without your kid thinking our country is evil. That, of course, is the entire point of that little woke retelling of American history, straight from Nicole Hannah-Jones and Howard Zinn.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is America is bad. The founding fathers, they were all evil slaveholders. Lincoln didn't free the slaves.
Hey, when you own people and declare them as property and you have the free range to do whatever you want to your property, including rape and murder, I think that's pretty evil, right, Ben? Oh no, maybe you think that's okay because, I mean, like, it was necessary, or it wasn't that bad. I mean, murder and rape, like, that's like something you can easily get over with, right? Ben, come on. Like, you do you see that face? Do you see that face? Come on. And this is their champ? This is their... Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
Lincoln actually wasn't responsible. We freed ourselves. That might come as a surprise to the 500,000 people who died in the Civil War.
And how many people died who actually were slaves and they enlisted themselves? They wanted to fight. Oh, it's a whole history. This would be a whole different video if we went into the details on what happened. It wasn't just white people from the North and white people from the South just fighting each other while slaves were just standing on the sideline. Really? And let's not pretend as if all of a sudden when the Civil War happened, that's when black people were like, hey, we don't want to be slaves. They've been fighting for their freedom since day one. Since they were being transported off the ship. How many slaves took their own lives during that? Because they had a hunch on what was about to happen. They've been trying to fight this and escape it since day one. Not all of a sudden they had like some sort of revelation like, hey, I don't want to be a slave no more. Guys, can we like have a discussion? No. Ben, what are you talking about? You sound ridiculous. Come on, you don't have to be the smartest person to understand when you do something bad, you have to pay for that. You don't just tell somebody, well, just forget it. Just move on. Come on, Ben. You're smarter than that. Come on, you got a fancy blazer. You got the little thing on your head. Come on, man. You shake, you pluck your eyebrows. Come on, man. Use some thinking. All right, Ben. So let's go ahead and I'm going to try to sum this up as best as possible. Ben, you cannot run from history. No matter how much money you throw at it, no matter how much you raise your thick ass eyebrows, it doesn't matter. You cannot run from history. History is going to be taught in its rawness, in its full rawness, information as possible. And sadly enough, I don't want my kids to grow up being ignorant in the world around them. I want them to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they're going to make their own decisions. Now, me personally, I don't hate America. I am not a victim. I love America because my ancestors bled and died for this country just as much as anybody else. I have a responsibility to continue to make sure America stays, or at least tries to live up to, you know, the whole entire American dream and being free, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all that good stuff. I have a responsibility. So Ben, please understand, you are not going to get away with trying to delete our history. We coming.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.